All right, we're going to talk about how my thinking leads to eating. What does dismissing my lower brain look like? I think a lot of people might have a perception that it's like this process or this thing that you really have to kind of have steps to do or, points to consider when you're doing it, but you really don't. And I'm going to give you two real world examples. So for me personally, the way it showed up for me in the last few weeks, and you start to really identify your lower brain voice and what it says to you and how it kind of starts to take you down the rabbit hole of overthinking, creating anxiety and stress, which then leads to the eating. So for me, a lot of times the reason I was having so much insomnia and problems sleeping is because my lower brain would start chatting to me at 2 o'clock in the morning, 3 o'clock in the morning. Heather, did you do this? Did you do that? Da, 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 da. It would hit me at those times. So about a week ago, I am hosting Christmas. About a week ago, I was going to the bathroom at 3 a.m. And right away, as soon as I got up to go to the bathroom, this is what I heard in my head. Hey, you only have 2 weeks or 3 weeks till Christmas, and you haven't even written out a menu yet. Do you even know what you're getting for Christmas dinner? Oh my gosh, and you've got this, that, and the other to still get done, and it literally just jumped off the board, started chatting at me. In the past, Heather would have considered all those thoughts. I would have really sat there and thought about those things. I would have traveled down the road of I'm not prepared, I'm going to be having a hard time, da, 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 da. I immediately said, nope, we're not doing this. Because what I've learned now over time is that, one, all things work out. Two, when it does that, I can totally just ignore it. I can dismiss it and I can shut down that conversation and just go back to bed. Whereas in the past, I would have just laid there in bed, eyes wide open, been thinking about everything, because one thought would have led to another thought, would have led to another thought. What I realize is it's just junk thoughts. It's not actually helping me. It's not like somebody's coming in my room going, hey, I'm going to plan everything for you. No. And all those fears are not validated. There's never been a time I've rolled up on hosting anything that I haven't been prepared. Yet it's regurgitated fear of what if you're not prepared, right? So I just dismissed it. I actually laughed about it the next day with my husband, and I told him, this is how my lower brain showed up last night. This is what it was worried about. This is what it was focused on. And I just dismissed it, went back to bed. And it's gotten so much better because my quality of sleep has improved just by doing this one thing, right? So dismissing it literally for me, I'm not doing this. That's the thought. I'm not doing this. I'm not answering these questions. I will deal with this tomorrow morning. Like literally ignore. It's almost like an annoying fly that you're just choosing, swish it away. You're not going to consider it. I thought this was fantastic. I right now have a 21-year-old client who's in college and has really struggled with lower brain, eating disorders, things of that nature. And she's making awesome progress. And we've spent a lot of time talking about this. And she had a rough week. And then the next week, she did not have a rough week. And I asked her, I said, did your lower brain chatter not show up this week? She says, oh no, it did. I said, well, what did you do? She said, well, I heard it chatting at me, suggesting I do my eating disorder to cope with my stress because she's trying to finish up her finals in the last week of school. And she says, all I said to it out loud was, not right now, I've got too much to do. That was it. Not right now, I got too much to do. I hear you, but I'm not. It's kind of like a pesky, when a toddler just keeps coming at you and asking the same question over and over and over again. And you're like, not right now, sweetheart, we'll get to that later. That's kind of how you dismiss it. It's not a big production. It's just truly a dismissal. It's realizing it's not significant or important. It's just this mental garbage chatter that shows up. And when she did that, I laughed out loud, and she was like, she was just so, matter of fact. I said, was that easier for you just to do it that way? And she's like, yeah, actually it was. She says, because I didn't have to worry about where the thoughts were coming from or why I was thinking them. She says, what I've kind of learned, from us picking all this apart is it really doesn't matter. And all it is just distracting me. And I have got so much to get done for school. I didn't have the bandwidth to even contemplate what it was saying to me. So it was just, nope, don't got time for you. I'm going to finish up my schoolwork now. I got things to do. That's how you dismiss it. It's really not as hard as I think people might think it is. because you think, okay, this has really ruined my life for so long, because this can affect so many areas of your life, this lower brain chatter. It can keep you up at night, not sleeping well. It can keep you eating junk food because you're trying to deal with those discomforting feelings. And I used this analogy with a client yesterday. I said, you don't realize that you are, okay, so like if you think about a kid is petrified there's a monster under his bed. The mom and dad come in, they turn on the lights, they lift the blanket, the kid sees it was just a stuffed animal under the bed casting a shadow. Nothing to be scared of. The kid now feels better, right? Whew, not a monster under my bed. You and me, if you've ever struggled with binge eating, compulsive eating, overeating to deal with your emotions, a lot of times you feel like it's kind of that angel on one shoulder, devil on the other, right? The good and the bad, so to speak. And you often feel a sense of out of control. Like, I had this intention today, I now see it's not happening. I feel a sense of out of control. But what you don't realize in that analogy of the kid and the monster and the parents, you are both the kid and the parents. You have the ability to be scared of your own thoughts, but you also have the power to turn on the light and dispel the idea that there is a monster to begin with. The monster of, I have all these things I have to get done, all these things I'm worried about, that I have to eat these things to deal with X, Y, and Z. Turn on the light. Realize those thoughts are coming from that lower brain and they mean nothing. And how you know they mean nothing? Put them into a sentence. So lower brain, what you're telling me is if I do my eating disorder, if I go eat that pack of Oreos in the pantry, it will make the anxiety and stress of me getting my schoolwork done way easier. It's going to help me hit all my deadlines. It's going to make my life better, right? Any rational human being can sit there and say a pack of Oreos is not going to do those things. Yet that is exactly what the lower brain is proposing. You feel discomfort, deadlines are due, finals are due, so stop what you're doing. Go do your eating disorder. That's going to make it all better. Your coworkers being crabby to you, sending you nasty emails. So what you're saying, lower brain, if I go eat all the chocolate in my pantry right now, it's going to make this coworker a decent human being. It's going to make them send me nice emails, and I won't have to deal with all of this stuff going on with my coworker. Of course not. No chocolate has that ability. So that's what I mean by turning on the light. You see the craziness of it all. And truly, the more and more that this lower brain shows up, I know it now. I really know what it sounds like in my head. And I know the feeling it produces in me, like the 3 o'clock in the morning, or you're not going to be prepared for Christmas. The initial feeling of, oh no, I'm not going to be prepared. That fear feeling is what usually starts to show for me. And then that creates anxiety. And that creates me to stay awake. And it creates me to have a rough day the next day. And in the past would have definitely led me down the road of eating, right? So I know the pattern. I see the pattern. I just have to decide to turn on the light, to be the parent who says, hey, look, sweetheart, just a lower brain thought, not a problem. I have the ability to get rid of the monster or to entertain the monster and travel down the monster's path with it and get all scared, all bent out of shape, and then ultimately go down the same habitual pattern that I've always been in, right? That's your choice. And we all have that power. It's pretty cool. So just wanted to share this idea because I think often when we think of dismissing the urge, or when we talk about, not listening to the lower brain, I think often people are looking for something concrete to do. And really, it's just that simple. I hear you, and I'm choosing not to entertain you. I'm choosing not to travel down the path with you once again. I'm choosing to kind of tune you out because you're like that annoying dog barking 2 houses down that won't shut up. I'm just not going to listen to you. I get it, but I'm not engaging you in this conversation. That's often what I say. I'm not engaging you in this conversation. I'm shutting the conversation down. So I hope that helps. You guys have a great day. Please like and subscribe. Share the videos with people you think it will help, and I will talk to you soon.